mystery rescuer. My name is India, and today we're going to be doing another creative video. It's going to be my very first attempt at a lookbook, but it's going to have a little bit of a twist. So I love murder mystery, as evidenced by the fact that I have the entire Agatha Christie crime collection in matching covers. They are beautiful, they are wonderful, I love the way that she writes, and I love the tropes that are used in murder mystery. I find the murder mystery genre to be fascinating because it tends to unconsciously and consciously use tropes and stereotypes and cultural anxieties, and then it subverts them to give you that twist at the end. It relies on you to make assumptions about certain characters and certain people based on the unreliable narrator narrative, and it works with that to make you surprised at the end and make the twists even twistier. So what better way to do a lookbook than to use the usual character tropes and archetypes and create a composite sort of image lookbook. And the way I'm going to do this is by using the most popular, famous, well-known murder mystery game of all time, and that is Cluedo, or Clue if you're from America. And I'm going to use each of those tropes, the Miss Scarlett, the Colonel Mustard, and all of those to create my lookbook. To prepare to make my composite image, I decided to draw up a rough plan of how I wanted everything to be laid out. I knew that I would need at least two characters to be sitting on the chair that I had chosen for the image, and so I planned out each archetype and the outfits that they would wear based around the limitations of my own wardrobe and the kind of time period, era, characterization I wanted to give off for each of them. Colonel Mustard represents the archetype of the Great White Hunter, a role that is rife with colonialist and ethnocentric values. It is the tension created by his outdated views, even by the contemporary standards of the 30s and 40s, that often places him in the line of suspicion, and good mystery writers will play upon the shadowy morality of his character. How can one trust, after all, the stories of a man who has created a career from exploiting humans and animals alike for personal gain? The archetype of Mr. Green, or Reverend Green, plays upon the anxiety of whether people who take on positions of spiritual superiority also maintain moral superiority. I chose to focus on Mr. Green as being a gardener because it gives him ample access to all kinds of pointy implements. But what is more concerning in this world than a person who hides their violent, murderous practices behind a facade of what they preach? It is his perceived spiritual and moral character that make Mr. Green an interesting archetype in the mystery genre, and a character particularly prone to red herring plot devices. Professor Plum was a fun character to create the ensemble for, but his character doesn't necessarily fit one particular mystery archetype. His portrayal and backstory changes from iteration to iteration. It's from disgraced psychologist to archaeologist to chemist, but he always tends to carry with him a level of corruption and secrets with which he can be blackmailed. His ability to spot patterns and clues that more often than not align with his field of expertise make him a formidable opponent and plot device when he is not being placed under the microscope himself. In the cutthroat world of academia, though, a man lives and dies on his reputation. The question for Professor Plum is, would he be capable of murder to protect it? Mrs. White fills the classic classist trope of the help. Even people who are unfamiliar with the mystery genre will know the phrase, "the butler did it." The suspicion of this particular archetype stems from the tension of trusting someone that you do not know to silently move through the most intimate aspects of your private life. Who else in your life is allowed to move unimpeded and largely ignored through your house, your drawers, your private papers? Miss Scarlett is the pinnacle representation of femme fatales, and her presence within the mystery genre is a mainstay. Miss Scarlett represents a woman capable of weaponizing her femininity and wielding it to her advantage, an ability that puts many of her male companions in a state of unease. When a woman not only denies but manipulates the established social norms of her gender role to her advantage, what other norms is she willing to bend to come out on top? I find Miss Scarlett to be perhaps one of the most interesting archetypes, because within the mystery genre, she is able to breathe with her own fascinating inner life and act with incredible agency that is not always afforded in other genres. Miss Peacock is usually representative of the Grand Dame archetype, which is essentially an aging, rich woman with a large eccentric personality and very set in her ways. Similar to Professor Plum, her specific social status opens her up for manipulation, either through outright blackmail or the more subtle art of a sophisticated con. What would she do to protect her fortune, her legacy, or herself from tawdry scandal? Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what your favourite character archetype is, or who you choose to play as for Cluedo when you play the game. And I will hopefully be making more content in the near future. Look out for more historical related videos. And in the meantime, everyone stay safe. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe. And this has been the History Rescuer. Have a great evening.
Did I make a mess? Hell yeah. Was it worth it? Hell yeah.
Oh, okay. This was the worst dress.